Hi, yeah, it's Nick here coming to you from Western Australia. Yeah, I just wanted to make a quick video here today about, you know, something that is close to my own heart and has been for a long time, smoking. Uh, Many years ago now, it's almost, I think, 15 years ago, I actually gave up smoking and I was a really heavy smoker at that time, probably 40 cigarettes a day or something like that. And, I still remember having all those troubles and all those feelings about, wanting to give up. And every time I tried, I failed miserable. In fact, I ended up going with the nicotine patches. And what happened was that I started on them, and of course, you start on the high, and then you go to the lower amount of nicotine in the patches there. And but then I had to go to Thailand, so of course I didn't realize that I couldn't get the patches in Thailand. So while I was there, I couldn't actually get that. So I started smoking again, and I started smoking Marlboro. And for those of you who know your cigarettes, Marlboro is a very, very strong cigarette. So yeah, I smoked away happily there for 3 or 4 weeks. I was there and whatever. And of course, when I came back, I I sort of yeah, was still smoking, right? So, but I felt I had to go back on the patches again. So then I found myself on the patches and on the cigarettes, right? So that was a very bad solution. So anyway, what happened was that I got back, and my wife at the time, she caught me out in the garage one day smoking out there, sneaking a cigarette. Though I had promised her that, of course, I would stop smoking because of our baby and that at the time, and I felt lower than an ant's belly. I really felt bad. I mean, here was I, a grown man hiding in the garage, smoking a cigarette. So I decided then that I was going to get serious about it. So I stopped the cigarettes and I started on the patches. And what happened more than that was that I was working in a lady's house one day and I was really, really feeling bad. I really needed a cigarette, and I said to her, I don't feel well, I've given up smoking, but I really, really need a cigarette, and she said, look, drink a glass of water and promise yourself that you will have one in an hour, right? And then you tend to forget about it, she said. So that's what I did. I had a big glass of water, and I said, yeah, I'll have a cigarette a bit later. And that technique really, really helped me. So of course, if that can help someone else, that's great, right? So we're used to being told that putting off things for ourselves, even, right? We do it to our family too. We say, oh look, yeah, I'll empty that rubbish bin, on Saturday, but it never happens, right? Yeah. So anyway, we're used to putting ourselves off, putting things off to ourselves. We'll clean up the garage, not this week, but the next week. Yeah. All right. Now that just reminds me of a joke there, or somewhat of a funny story, where the father comes in to say to the daughter that, look, you're gonna clean up your bedroom, right? It looks disgusting. There's things everywhere. And she says, well, Dad, what about your garage? And of course, she realized then that, well, maybe he shouldn't talk. So, yeah. Anyway, it's a bit of a funny story there. So I ended up working on these patches, and eventually, the time that when I said, I'll have a cigarette in an hour, I forgot about it. So 4 hours later, I was thinking, wow, I haven't had a cigarette. Oh, wow. Oh, well, I'll have one in an hour. And of course, I started then the longer and longer periods, and eventually I just didn't think about it anymore. I mean, it took a bit of time and of course a little bit of willpower, but nothing that great. But I did say to myself afterward that if I can do this, I can do anything, because that feeling of the craving is unbelievable. As many of you people out there trying to give up smoking are probably feeling yourself, right? So, you know, but uh, if you're sick of smoking and sick of waking up at night with a bad cough, hate smelling like an ashtray and seeing people avoiding you because you smell of smoke, what about being ashamed of the effect that your smoking has on your family and the loved ones? Seeing the pity in their eyes whenever you deep-heartedly tell them that you are going to give up. You are going to stop, right? Even that you know that that's probably not going to happen, right? And what about being disgusted with yourself for keep smoking while you are pregnant, even though you know it most likely would harm your baby? Like, you got to stop this madness, right? If I can do it, you can do it. Get a hold of some nicotine patches and start doing that, what I just said there. It's a good advice. It's worth $1 million to you. Right? I don't know what cigarettes cost in your part of the world, but I can tell you here in Australia, it's madness. It's hundreds and hundreds of dollars every month you spend on that. This could pay your mortgage off in half the time. So, plus give your health back into, which is probably more important. Remember, you cannot buy new lungs. So, but if you do give up, the body will repair itself. My lungs are increasingly much, much better. And I have, a full set of good lungs now. So, yeah, what can I say? It is worth it. I can even taste food better. Yeah. And I'm not sort of ever woken up or thinking, God, you must go and get a packet of cigarettes. No, I never think about it anymore. And, I feel clean and fresh in my mouth. And, it's such a different thing. And I can sit with everybody and not feeling bad about smoking and causing them to feel bad about having to say to me, look, we prefer you don't smoke, So, yeah, I mean, what about standing outside the factory or your office or whatever on the street there like a monkey going, oh, look at this, I'm a smoker, I'm proud, right? No, I don't think it's really what you really, really want to do. And you can do it. You're as strong as anybody, Like, if I can do it, I'm sure anybody can do it. So come on, get started, get down to the chemist, get some patches, and decide on how you're going to do it, right? Start on the 8 milligram or something like that, and keep changing them. The patches sometimes becomes a little bit annoying, but look, it's all worth it, right? And then whenever you feel like it, drink a big glass of water, say, I'll have a cigarette in an hour. And then just keep going, and you can do it, okay? So, I hope this will help someone out there, and I hope you realize that life after smoking is great. Forget about it. I can still drink beers, I can still have parties, and still do all the things I love to do without having to sit and suck on a nicotine-filled butt there, okay? So, yeah. Hope it helps you, and take care and all the best.